Welcome to World Code Updates, your daily briefing on everything happening around the world. The headlines flash across screens worldwide. Energy markets in turmoil, supply chains snapping. The world watches in real time as the foundations of global stability begin to tremble. Every update brings new waves of anxiety, as uncertainty ripples from trading floors to kitchen tables. The year is 2025, and the world faces a new kind of uncertainty, one that seeps into every corner of daily life. Streets that once bustled with activity now echo with a strange quiet, as people everywhere wonder what tomorrow will bring. Nations that once controlled oil and gas now scramble for stability. The old certainties have vanished, replaced by frantic negotiations and desperate attempts to maintain order as energy supplies dwindle. Political tensions rise, old alliances fray, and the hum of industry is threatened by scarcity. Factories fall silent, and the air is thick with the sense that the world is teetering on the edge of something new and unknown. In cities from Berlin to Beijing, leaders hold emergency meetings, desperate to secure energy. The fate of millions hangs in the balance as decisions are made behind closed doors, with every nation vying for a lifeline. The global chessboard is being reset, alliances shift, strategies evolve, and the rules of the game are rewritten in real time. For decades, a handful of powerful players dictated the energy narrative. Their decisions shaped economies, influenced politics, and determined the pace of progress for billions. But today, new players are emerging, challenging the old order. Ambitious leaders and innovative thinkers are stepping forward, determined to carve out a place in this new world. In Southeast Asia, a different kind of energy is building. The region is harnessing the power of wind, sun, and water, investing in a future that is cleaner, more resilient, and less dependent on the whims of distant powers. The Philippines, once dependent, is turning its greatest weakness into strength. Through innovation and determination, the nation is rewriting its own story, transforming vulnerability into opportunity. This is not just about resources, it's about a nation discovering a new destiny. In classrooms and communities, hope is rekindled as people imagine a brighter, more independent future. Tankers sit idle, prices swing wildly, and ordinary people feel the impact in their daily lives. Every commute, every meal, every plan is touched by the uncertainty of the times. The crisis is a reminder of how fragile and interconnected our world is. A single disruption can send shockwaves across continents, affecting lives in ways both seen and unseen. Yet, in the Pacific, a nation is finally starting to breathe on its own. The first rays of hope break through the clouds, illuminating a path forward that is uniquely its own. The most remarkable transformations often occur in the crucible of crisis. It is in these moments of hardship that true resilience and ingenuity are forged, shaping the future in ways no one could have predicted. A new chapter is being written, not in Washington or Moscow, but in the warm waters of the Pacific. Here, the story of tomorrow is unfolding, one bold step at a time. Amidst the global storm of uncertainty and shifting economies, the Philippines emerges as an unlikely beacon of stability and hope in Southeast Asia. As the world grapples with energy crises and supply chain disruptions, this archipelago is quietly charting a new course. Once seen as energy-dependent and vulnerable to external shocks, the country is now taking bold steps to secure its own future. Investments in infrastructure and technology are transforming the landscape. Offshore platforms now dot the West Philippine Sea, standing tall as symbols of newfound capability and national pride. These structures represent not just resources, but a commitment to self-reliance. Filipino engineers and technicians, once overlooked on the global stage, now manage complex operations with world-class skill and innovation. Their expertise is driving the nation forward. This is a story of turning vulnerability into strength, of transforming challenges into opportunities for growth and unity. The Philippines, a nation of over 7,000 islands, has always faced unique energy challenges. Geography, isolation, and natural disasters have tested its resilience time and again. But instead of accepting dependence as fate, leaders and communities chose to change. They embraced innovation, collaboration, and a vision for a brighter tomorrow. The vision is clear: to become an energy powerhouse, fueling its own growth and contributing to regional stability. Solar farms, wind turbines, and modern power plants now light up the nation. From the bustling streets of Manila to the most remote villages, optimism is taking hold. Families see new opportunities and children play under the glow of newly installed streetlights. The narrative is shifting from struggle to opportunity, from scarcity to abundance. Communities celebrate milestones once thought impossible. The world is beginning to take notice. International journalists and foreign delegates visit to witness the transformation firsthand, inspired by the Filipino example. What was once dismissed as a pipe dream is now reality. Completed projects stand as proof of what determination and unity can achieve. A new dawn is breaking in the East, powered by the Filipino spirit, resilient, innovative, and full of hope for generations to come. To understand this transformation, we must look back. For generations, the Philippines relied on imported oil and coal. Every global crisis sent shockwaves through the economy. Dependency was not just economic, it was a matter of sovereignty. Fuel imports drained resources that could have built schools or hospitals. The nation's growth was held back by this critical weakness. Electricity costs soared, burdening families and businesses. Leaders knew true independence required energy security. The search for domestic energy became a national quest. The memory of scarcity and blackouts is etched into the national consciousness. This collective memory fuels today's determination. The past, learned the hard way, is now the foundation for a resilient future. Energy dependency was felt in the daily lives of millions. Brownouts, rolling blackouts became a household word. Cities plunged into darkness, businesses closed, productivity plummeted. The economic cost was immense, but the human cost was greater. Students studied by candlelight, families endured the heat, hospitals risked losing power. The unreliable grid created constant anxiety and frustration. Small business owners struggled to survive. Many invested in expensive generators, but most simply waited for power to return. This stifled entrepreneurship and made growth difficult. The experience forged a deep desire for change. Reliable energy became a national movement, not just a policy debate. People understood it was the key to better lives. The darkness of the past created a powerful yearning for a brighter future. Out of shared struggle, a national resolve was born. Across the country, people from all walks of life felt the weight of uncertainty, but also the hope that unity could bring about real change. The hardships faced by ordinary Filipinos became the fuel for a collective determination to shape a better future. The era of energy dependence had to end. Reliance on foreign oil had left the nation vulnerable to global crises, and frequent blackouts reminded everyone of the urgent need for self-sufficiency. Government, business, and citizens spoke with one voice: the Philippines must harness its own resources. This unprecedented collaboration marked a turning point, as leaders and everyday people alike demanded a new path forward. New policies created a framework for energy exploration and development. Laws were passed to encourage innovation, investment, and the responsible use of the nation's natural wealth. The archipelago's coastlines and deep waters became frontiers of opportunity. Untapped reserves beneath the sea promised hope, and the nation looked to its own land and waters for answers. The search for indigenous energy intensified, with geologists and surveyors leading the way. Their discoveries sparked excitement, as each new find brought the dream of energy independence closer to reality. Filipino business leaders saw the potential and invested in domestic resources. Their commitment signaled confidence in the country's future and inspired others to join the movement. Public-private partnerships became the engine of the energy revolution. Together, they built the infrastructure needed to power homes, industries, and dreams. The people supported the new direction, enduring disruptions for a brighter future. Communities came together, discussing plans and sharing sacrifices, knowing that progress required patience and resilience. They shared the vision: children studying with lights on, businesses thriving, a nation standing tall. Every small victory was celebrated, as hope spread from household to household. Sacrifice was accepted for long-term gain. Families tightened their belts, workers toiled day and night, all for the promise of a better tomorrow. This shared will was the true spark of the revolution. It was not just about energy, but about reclaiming the nation's destiny through unity and determination. The Philippines was ready to take control of its energy destiny. Engineers, policymakers, and citizens alike stood at the forefront of a new era, proud and resolute. A quiet revolution had begun. As the sun rose over the archipelago, a new chapter in the nation's story was being written, one powered by hope, courage, and the unwavering spirit of its people. The discovery of the Malampaya gas field symbolized a new era. Deep beneath Palawan's waves, Malampaya became a beacon of hope. Its development was a massive gamble, requiring capital, technology, and faith, but it paid off spectacularly. The Malampaya project supplied over 20% of the nation's electricity. It reduced reliance on imported oil and coal, saving billions. Cleaner burning gas helped cut the country's carbon footprint. Rolling blackouts faded into memory. Malampaya trained a generation of Filipino engineers and managers. It proved Filipinos could manage world-class energy projects. The project unlocked further investment and confidence. Malampaya became the foundation for the country's energy ambitions. Malampaya's success ignited a nationwide push for expansion. The government launched an ambitious plan to overhaul energy infrastructure. New pipelines connected more islands, refineries were upgraded, and modern power plants built. Sweeping reforms cut red tape and attracted investment. The message: the Philippines is open for business. Local communities became partners, seeing jobs and new opportunities. Business and government worked hand in hand, accelerating development. The energy grid was modernized, reaching remote areas for the first time. LNG terminals positioned the country as a regional energy hub. This was about leaping forward, not just catching up. The Philippines was building the foundations of a 21st century economy. Brick by brick, pipeline by pipeline, the nation was being rewired. The journey to energy independence faces real challenges. The West Philippine Sea holds vast, contested reserves of oil and gas. Securing these resources is critical to the nation's future. The Philippine Navy and Coast Guard protect vital offshore assets. The country asserts its rights under international law, balancing diplomacy and security. Principled diplomacy and alliances have earned global respect. Developing its own resources strengthens both energy and national security. The Philippines is determined to secure a prosperous, independent future. The transformation of the Philippines' energy landscape is about people. Energy wealth is fueling progress across the archipelago. Revenue from projects like Malampaya funds schools, hospitals, and public services. New jobs are created, building a skilled workforce and boosting local economies. Small businesses thrive near energy projects, driving grassroots development. Most profound is the restoration of national pride. The narrative has shifted from scarcity to capability and hope. Filipinos see proof they can build their own future. Confidence is unleashing creativity and entrepreneurship. The journey isn't over. Balancing fossil fuels with renewables is the next challenge. The Philippines is well positioned to lead in green energy. The goal: a sustainable, diversified energy mix for generations to come. The nation has turned vulnerability into strength. Now it's poised to power a bright, sustainable future.